All right, it's time now for the 1980 Topps Pack-a-Palooza. So what I've got here, I've got 20 of these holiday rack packs, each with 12 cards. And then I have three wax packs, 15 cards each. Of course, these are relatively expensive. You're paying about 50 bucks a piece for those. And with these are a lot cheaper. They don't really have that many fewer cards, but you can already see half the cards. So you know half the cards in here. Also, odds are when they put these together, assuming these were put together in the in 1980 for Christmas 1980, they're less likely to put a lot of great cards in here. And we saw that in 1978 where we didn't really get a lot of great cards in the middle of these packs. But there are, out of these 20 packs, there are 5 Hall of Fame cards showing, including here on the first pack, and those are kind of distributed out through there. So what I'm going to do is I want to do the holiday packs first, go through those, and then we'll open the wax packs. Of course, what we're looking for here is the Rickey Henderson rookie card, a valuable card, but you have a lot of the usual suspects. Some of the higher end Hall of Famers and such can be worth a lot in high grade. So let's go ahead and get started. So this first one here we have Ted Simmons, Hall of Famer. A lot of these packs have 3 of the same team showing. I don't know how frequent that was, or that's just an aspect of this particular bunch that I've got. But so we got Roger Freed on the front. The back we have Roy Thomas. They have this characteristic of having the second card backwards. I'm not quite sure why. Rick Auerbach and Bob Apodaca. So nothing too special. The condition on these cards, I don't expect the condition to be great on these. Some of these have some corner issues. That's another reason why these are not necessarily these rack packs are not necessarily very expensive. So here we have the Cardinals team card with manager Ken Boyer. On the back, Pat Zachary, Kenny Reitz, and Hoskin Powell. Now here we have our Hall of Famer. He got in very recently. Not sure whether they would have been would expect that to happen back here or back at this time or not. Got an A's, but it's Larry Murray. Barry Foote. That card's in kind of rough shape. Got some creasing. And then the backwards card, Bombo Rivera. So let's we'll leave our Hall of Famer right there. So now we've got a pack here with Dodgers showing. We got another one with Dodgers showing here as well. I'm just going to cut all three segments. Okay, so we have, oops, we have one that's not quite open. Jeez. Okay. All right, so we got Doug Rowell on the front, Pat Underwood on the back, George Boomer Scott, that one's in kind of rough shape, and Jerry Koosman. So I love the All-Star notation design that they used here. I think that looks really, especially for the National League, the yellow on black. I think that looks really good. So Davey Lopes, Mark Clear, Phil Mankowski, and Wayne Cage. Now I was very avidly collecting in 1980. And in fact, if you saw my video earlier on my first PSA submission, I did have a Rickey Henderson rookie card from my childhood, which I did send in, hoping that it's going to maybe be a PSA 7. That's about a $100 card. If we get one in here, it might not even be PSA 7. Tom Paquette, Keith Hernandez, and that would have been a pretty good one to get at the time. Joe Ferguson, and Mike Baksic. That's one of the things about these large sets. I mean, it's cool that, you know, basically everybody who played more than, you know, a handful of games gets a card, but it also means that you got a lot of cards of players who may not remember very long. So the Dodgers Future Stars, that card's in a little rough shape. Dusty Baker, Laren LeGrau, and Doug Rao again. Johnny Oates, Gary Sarum, Ron Say. So we're getting a lot of Dodgers, and so Ron Say would have been a decent one. And Dick Drago for the Red Sox. Now, when I note Hall of Famers, I don't note Hall of Fame managers, just want to make that point. Oh, oops, geez. So we got Tommy Lasorda here on the Dodgers team card. Bucky Dent, a little bit of a crease there. Manny Sarmiento, Kip Young. The team cards, of course, the nice thing about these is that they're unmarked, whereas in real life I did mark mine up. And the team checklist just have the card number, player, position, and their uniform number. Well, these are not, I'm not doing a very good job cutting these. Okay, so Johnny Oates here on the front, Marty Patton, Gene Garber, Joe Nolan, Johnny Oates. Okay, let's see, we got another Tommy Lasorda here on top with the Dodgers team card. Let's see, Rob Wilfong, Tom Bergmeyer, and Steve Renko. And we're still maintaining the this tradition here of not really getting anything good on the insides of the packs. Chet Lemon, Roger Freed, and Davey Lopes. So we got him again, and Greg Pryor. Again, getting repeats, which is not too surprising. It's not clear exactly how they how these particular cards ended up being in the holiday packs. Whether these were how they got them, and whether they just bought a bunch of packs. But a lot of these cards seem to be circulated, so I don't know I really don't know how all that worked. Craig Minetto, that one's in kind of bad shape. Randy Jones, Denny Walling, and Dave Freiselben. Blue Jays Future Stars. Well, Pat Kelly did play some. Craig Swan, Hector Cruz, and Tom Houseman. Tom Underwood on the front, Darryl Knowles, Joe Wallace, and Jerry Morales. So we're seem to be about par for the course here. Not exactly getting great things. 1980 is an interesting set because it's the last year that Topps had this big monopoly on baseball cards, because in '81 both Fleer and Donruss were allowed to issue baseball card sets. Jerry Augustine, that's kind of in rough shape. Mike Hargrove, Jim Morrison, and Ken Brett, George's older brother. Steve Rogers, he was a good pitcher. Pitched for the Expos, though. That didn't really help him being known as a good pitcher. Jim Wright, we got the Rangers Future Stars, and Steve Nicosia. All right, Nelson Norman, Johnny Oates, Ray Fosse, and Don Stanhouse. We got more Dodgers. Bob Welsh ended up having a he had one really great season. He won what, 27 games. Joe Ferguson, Jim Clancy, and Baylor Moore. Dodgers future stars: John Walkenfuss, Aurelio Lopez, and Steve McCatty. And the Dodgers here, we got Ron Say, Paul Mitchell, Manny Mota. Had a long career, maybe most famous for being a pinch hitter forever for the Dodgers. And then Ray Fosse again. Okay, so now we've got another one of our Hall of Famers here on the front. We got an Alan Trammell. Okay, Jim Slayton, Champ Summers, Pat Putnam, that card's kind of dinged up, and Disco Dan Ford. Okay, so here we've got our first American League All-Star card, and so the pattern there is kind of this magenta on purple. Jerry Narron, Manny Sarmiento, and Mickey Klutz. One of those kind of unfortunate names for a for a ball player. Okay, so here we've got Hall of Famer Alan Trammell. Put him over there. Bert Hooton, Dave Roberts, and Lee Mazzilli. Okay, all right, Rob Piccolo, Jim Morrison. That's kind of rough shape. See, these ones in rough shape makes me wonder exactly what they are. Gary Templeton. This was a couple years before he got traded more or less straight up for Ozzie Smith. That move didn't work out so great for the Padres. Bob Stanley. A's team card. Jack Billingham, who was best known as part of the Big Red Machine in 85-86. Jerry Royce. Mike Tyson. Not that Mike Tyson, though. Champ Summers. Mike Ivey, Laren LeGrau, and Ted Martinez. We're really racking up the Dodgers here. So here's one. Here's the Orioles one. And I have to think that they were probably intentionally trying to do things like that. You know, trying to get someone who's a fan of a particular team to get them interested. So Don Stanhouse, Chris Knapp, Bill Travers, Tim Foley. Orioles future stars. They always do that. They tend to put these backwards. They go like this to match everything else. Okay, Rick Matula, Bo McLaughlin, and Chet Lemon again. Doug DeCinces, Wayne Kuiper, kind of dinged up. Benny Ayala, Alan Bannister. And I do want to mention that there is a wax stain on this one, so I mean these did come out of packs, at least some of them. I mean, because one possibility for these are sort of like maybe leftovers or rejects from Topps themselves that somehow got in the hands of this repackaging company. Really not sure. Lightfoot, Dale Murray. We'd rather have Dale Murphy. Alfredo Griffin, and Bill Castro. Okay, Cubs future stars, no one of any particular note there. Backwards. Elliot Maddox, bad shape. Mark Hill, Ron Hodges. I have to say, getting through these, I think, I don't know, may not be buying any more of these. It's not just, I mean, the cards can be boring. I mean, you can buy older ones of this. Maybe I should try that, seeing what I get with the older ones, the 1980. Paul Dade, or 78. Billy Ullman. There's Dusty Baker again, and Ivan DeJesus. So here we've got another Hall of Famer. We've got Goose Gossage. And we got Fred Lynn, who at this point was looking like he'd probably be a Hall of Famer, but he kind of tailed off, really tailed off in his 30s. Had a couple of sensational years early in his career. Ken Holtzman, Otto Velez, Lamar Johnson. That card's in pretty decent shape. And Steve Henderson. So there's our Freddie Lynn, Johnny Oates, Bill Russell, and Vaughn Joshua, all three Dodgers. Fred Lynn's got a banged up corner. So Lynn, this was after his second. So his rookie year in '75 was amazing. And he won MVP. Then he had another fantastic year in '79, and at that point he was really looking great. And also another interesting thing about him is that he's one of only a handful of people, maybe a dozen people or so, maybe even less than a dozen, who have driven in 10 runs in a game. He did that as a rookie. Okay, here's Goose Gossage. So a Hall of Fame card. That one's got a little bit of a stain on it. Jim Wolford, Larry Gura, and Tim Johnson. Okay, Dave Rosello, Steve Mingori, Dan Petrie, and Pat Putnam. Stolen base leaders here: Omar Moreno and Willie Wilson. That was this was that age of the speedsters. Had a lot of big stolen base guys at that time. Let's look at Dave Skaggs, Gene Garber, and Mike Cubbage. We don't see, there's not a lot of, I mean, even in this year, Rickey Henderson, this was Rickey Henderson's rookie year, of course, only 33 stolen bases, but he didn't play the full year, and he would go on to bigger and better stolen base things. Terry Poole, Ron Pruitt, Ron Piccolo, and Dave Roberts, those great Pirates caps, great design on there. Okay, so we've got another Fred Lynn there. So we got a 79 highlights, Del Unser, who set a record by hitting his third consecutive pinch hit home run. Roger Freed, Brian Doyle, and Steve Stone. Jose Morales, Ed Halicki, Phil Mankowski, and Mike Jorgensen. So here's our second Fred Lynn card. That one's in pretty good shape. Raleigh Eastwick, Kip Young, Craig Cusick, I think. Jeez. Okay, Don Ossie, Art Howe, LaRue Washington, and Randy Neiman. Not the artist, Randy Neiman. Or is that Leroy Neiman? I don't know. I guess maybe that's Leroy Neiman. Checklist. Tim Foley, Rob Wilfong. That one just had some extra plastic on it. And Ken Brett. Ron Guidry, who had an outstanding career. Some people think he should be in the Hall of Fame in the Sandy Koufax wing for having a lot of great seasons in a relatively short career for a Hall of Famer. But he's not in, probably won't get in. Ron Hassey, Tim Johnson. There's Art Howe again. Our third, Freddie Lynn. And here's another Hall of Famer. We got Jim Rice. That card's got a little crease in it. Harry Chappis, Bob Welch, and Jerry Augustine. Steve Renko, Fred Howard, Barry Bunnell, and Glenn Abbott. And our third, Fred Lynn. Gary Matthews, he was a good player. Jeff Newman and Lamar Johnson. I think we're, pretty sure here we're not going to end up getting anybody fantastic here, but okay, Bob Welch, Roy Thomas, Jim Sundberg, and Doc Medic. Okay, Steve Yeager, Bob Sykes, Jimmy Gantner, and Jerry Royce again. We've got another Davey Lopes, Jeff Newman, Buddy Schultz, and Willie Montanez. Pete Redfern, Rob Piccolo again, Bo Diaz, and Dave Rosello. Twins future stars, Gary Ward, had a pretty good career. Doug Rao, Joe Ferguson, and Del Alston. Jerry Kuzman again, Tony Armas, not too bad. Jim Spencer, and Dick Drago. Did I miss one of the Hall of Famers? Did I go like right by one of the Hall of Famers? I thought I had 5 showing. I must have just completely brain farted on one of them and put it in the main pile. I meant to put it in the Hall of Fame pile. So this is one of the packs that has all the Padres showing. So Gene Richards, Rick Miller, Roland Office, and Bombo Rivera. We've had him before. Pirates team card with Jerry Coleman, manager, Tom Paquette, Phil Hartzell, and Raleigh Eastwick. Billy Allman, Rusty Torres, Bill Fahey, Jim Rooker. I'm not expecting number 20 to be particularly lucky. We did get one Hall of Famer there. Oops, sorry. Okay, Ron Jackson, Pete Vukovich, Jerry Augustine, Jason Thompson. Here's our Jim Rice, Denny Walling, Ken Obergfell, Baylor Moore, Doug Rao, Bill Stein, Fred Norman, and Mark Wagner. So Not necessarily expecting, wasn't necessarily expecting a bunch out of these, and was not disappointed in that. Okay, so now for the Topps packs, and these are in pretty good shape. Actually, it's contemplated sending one or two of these in to be graded, but there's still good quality 1980s wax packs out there. You can still occasionally find boxes of those, and a lot of the people who are selling these individually are selling them as box breaks. Okay, so 1980. Let's see what we get. I'm going to try to open this up carefully. I want to see if I can save the wrappers from my collection. This is the first time I've opened. I believe this must be the first time I don't think I've opened any 80s wax packs since I got back into collecting this year. So this is the first ones that I've opened since 1980. Being really careful. Sorry, this is going to seem slow, but I do like saving a few wrappers when I can. Boy, these are sealed pretty darn good. Too good. Bummer. Jeez. Alright, okay. Finally got that one open. There's the gum, looking a little... does not smell like gum at all. It's a little discolored, so that's not gum for eating. Okay, so there's a wax stain on Dave Edwards, Ralph Garr, the Roadrunner, and these are in pretty good shape. Rob Andrews, you can even see the rough cutting that you see on some cards. John DeKisto, Von Joshua, Danny Goodwin, Dane Orge, Ray Burris. Flip it over. Sparky Lyle was a good reliever, especially once he got to the Yankees. Randy Neiman, Bob Baylor, getting some of the same ones we had in there. Ooh, we got an all-star here. Woody Fryman, Rod Carew. All right, that's a good one. So definitely off center, but good corners on this one. Rod Carew, great hitter, and he was all-star that year, Hall of Famer. Warren Brewster and Bill Campbell. So not too bad there. Pulled one Hall of Famer. All right, let's go to the second pack here. Again, I'm going to try to do this as carefully as possible. I feel like that's definitely gonna rip. Okay, got that one off. This one definitely feels like it's gonna rip. It's starting to rip there. It's kind of a bummer. I know it's not a big deal, but like I said, I do kind of like to try this technique with a little screwdriver. Maybe that's the way to go. Okay, and we got another all-star here. Got gum stuck to the bottom card, which is Bob Apodaca, which is no great loss there. That's good. Frank White with a little wax stain. Rick Miller, Dan Meyer, Tom Underwood, Dave Kingman, Ozzie Smith. Look at that. Oh, that's a nice one. All right. We'll come back to that. Del Alston, Joe Strain, Checklist. Ooh. Gene Richards, Tom Hausman, Jim Wright, Rodney Scott, Joe Sambito, and Bob Apodaca. All right, so this Ozzie here. So this is a Ozzie Smith in pretty good shape. Centering isn't perfect. I'm going to look here. The corners look really good on this one. So this is a nice one. This one it's got a lot of fuzziness on the edges, you know, the fresh cut. Yeah, that's a nice card. Okay, so we're 2 for 2 on Hall of Famers. Okay, I'm going to go back to the, and I will get these into sleeves here very soon. I'm taking long enough to open these as it is. I seem to want to stick in this one area here. That one's sticking too. Sealed up real good. Did I poke a hole in it? Yeah, I poked a hole in that one, so alright, forget it. Oh yeah, and then of course that comes open just fine. There we go. Okay. That's okay. That one will just get thrown away. And the gum stuck to Dave Winfield. Oh, no. Oh, got a gum stain on the Hall. Well, we know we got a Hall of Famer on this one, so. And a little bit of damage here. This pack has bumped somehow. Okay, Dave Freiselben, Mike Vale, Bob Ochinko. Okay, now they're clean again on the edge. Bob Nepper, Mitchell Page, the wrong Oakland A's outfielder. Mark Belanger, Sal Bando. He was a very good player. One of the best third basemen in the 70s. Rob Piccolo, another A's. Jerry Royster. Randy Neiman again, Tom Dixon, Jose Cruz, Mark Little, Ron Pruitt, and then our Dave Winfield. So Dave Winfield, off center, gum stain, which you might be able to get that off with a microfiber cloth. But here we go. Okay, so we got I got the Hall of Famers here that I knew I was getting from the holiday rack packs, and then a bunch of basically mostly commons, and then we got one Hall of Famer each from the wax packs. So we did okay on the wax packs. Obviously didn't get a Rickey, but you know, we got Carew and Winfield, and then a really nice looking Ozzie Smith. This is a pretty nice one. It's a little bit of a diamond cut, I notice. You know, kind of typical, typical what you get out of a wax. This is Ozzie's only a second-year card, so that's a pretty good one. Again, this is not going to be a super high grade. You know, with that diamond cut, maybe a 7, probably. But that's okay. Good to have it in the collection. Okay, so that's it for the 80s packs. Did okay. Again, I think these holiday rack packs are kind of not the greatest thing in the world. But the wax packs certainly didn't disappoint. So I hope you enjoyed this. That's it for now, and I'll see you next time.